What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. There's been a lot of things happening overseas as of late, and while this channel tends to focus on Canadian politics, I wanted to sit back today and talk about what's happening in the UK. Why? Well, because it's probably on its way to Canada very soon. And what am I talking about? Well, if you've been living under a rock or you've been watching the woke Olympics, let's be honest, nobody's watching the woke Olympics. Listen, I throw jokes in at times of stress. It's the way I cope. Deal with it, ladies and gents. Let's skip over here. There are riots currently happening amongst asylum seekers and citizens over in several parts of the UK and Northern Ireland, I've been told. As Radio Genora tweets out here, Islamic fanatics attack British families in Birmingham. We need mass deportations now. I just want to show this 12-second clip. Again, I'm going to mute the audio because there is some, it's very graphic. So please, you know, if you don't want to see any of this, it's only a 12-second clip, but you've got guys storming the streets here with their faces covered, of course, because they don't want anybody knowing who they are, smashing windows of cars. There goes one right there, kicking cars, attacking citizens. What's this all about? Well, allegedly, it has something to do with a violent attack with a pointy object, we'll say, because, again, YouTube and their censors. The point is, I'm not even going to get into what started this because it doesn't really matter. The problem is, and we've talked about it many times on this channel, the mass illegal migrants and asylum seekers that come to these countries, that don't respect these countries, that are flooding these countries to essentially take over and destroy the place. Donald Trump had a good word for these countries that they come from, where he said they were third world shitholes. And, well, they're turning it wherever they go, including the United Kingdom, into their own hole. Because, you know, why obey the laws? Why go for a new life? Because they're not headed for a new life. They're not going there for a new life. They're going there to destroy the place and cause crime. The most alarming thing that I found is I wanted to show this. The British government coming out, and I thought, you know, after seeing that clip, hey, they'll be condemning what's going on with these asylum seekers, right? They'll be condemning what's happening with these asylum seekers. Well, let's take a look to what they're saying here. If you look at the tweet here, the British government vows to track down all native Britons in defense of the foreign invaders. No doubt our government would do the same to us if they actually had the balls to fight back. First, Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeting back a parody: Kamala Harris would put illegals before Americans any day of the week. This is unbelievable. So let's listen to the message, and then we'll go over it.
Be in no doubt, those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law. The police will be making arrests. Individuals will be held on remand. Charges will follow, and convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online and then running away themselves. This is not protest. It is organised, violent thuggery, and it has no place on our streets or online.
So the first time I heard that, I thought he was talking about these guys. I thought he was talking about they were going to track down these guys who had their faces covered, who were attacking cars, the illegal migrants, the asylum seekers. I thought he was saying that their streets had no place for this type of behavior. You see a Palestinian flag there. Again, we're no strangers to that. We see that in Canada all the time. But no, he's talking about tracking down British citizens who are going out, who have essentially fought back against the police. I've seen... I'm speechless. I've seen videos of people throwing rocks at police in the UK, fighting back because they've had enough. They've had enough of this uproar. They've had enough of the protests. They've had enough of the behavior. They've had enough of the damage to their economy that's caused by all of this, by the way. I really apologize when I take those long pauses. I really, part of the problem is we have to figure out how to get around these YouTube censors. And it's part of the reason that, again, I can't show a lot of the video footage because, well, YouTube would bury it. It would be censored down. So if you're enjoying this content, please make sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment. It helps put the video out so YouTube doesn't bury it. Here's somebody siding with what's going on. You're the effing worst, Marjorie. The Muslims here aren't searching for white British people or patriots. They are peacefully protesting after a false claim that a Muslim man unalived 3 kids when it was found to be a 17-year-old from Rwanda instead. I really don't care who it was. I don't really care who it was. But look at what you got going on here now.
We're going to take a walk down, nice and easy. We're representing the Ummah. We're representing the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's it. Nothing else. We don't need to cause a scene. We walk down, show force that we protect Blackburn and we're here for the community and for all colours. End of. Allahu Akbar. We're not.
So there, look at this. A big crowd of guys with their faces covered. Yeah, this really says that they're there for justice and for their community when they cover their faces to make sure that nobody can identify them, you know, while they're doing this, while they're out smashing vehicles and kicking holes in it and attacking citizens, right? That's being for the community, right? While they yell Admiral Akbar everywhere that they go. I know I can't actually say the term again because of, you know, censorship. This is what's really sad. I mean, even Al Jazeera putting out an article, the UK riots. Why are far-right groups attacking immigrants and Muslims? So this isn't even about their behavior again, their mass swarming of the streets. I mean, take a look at what's, I'm going to get into the article, but again, take a look at what's going on here. This is what's happening in the UK. Good old friend of the channel, Aaron, saying, you better wake up, Canada. This is coming here, and in many ways. Things have already crept into a very dangerous situation, especially as mass immigration continues unabated. I fear our country's future. I fear for Canada's safety. We must protect our nation. So again, Marjorie Taylor Greene parody account tweeting out happening now. Thousands of Muslims are chanting Admiral Akbar while searching for white British patriots. Pray for the UK. This is what open borders does to your cities. The UK has officially fallen. It's absolutely disgusting. When you see these numbers, when you think about all the people that are being put up in hotel rooms in Niagara Falls, Montreal, across Quebec. They're now coming out west, by the way. They're now provinces saying, send them to us, send them over here. We'll find space for them, right? If you look at Toronto and you look at all the protests that are going on, the pro-Palestinian protests, they've already shut down university campuses. They have numbers. Here's the average cost for what's going on in Canada right now. Canada's cost to house and dine refugees is ridiculous. It's $224 per day or $667.20 per month per claimant. It's more than the average Canadian household spending. Average cost per room across all sites, $140 per night per room, based on January 2024 rates. The average cost per day for meals per claimant, $84 per day per claimant, based on January 2024 rates. I mean, all it takes is for them to say, okay, it's time to go. And this is what happens. And then you get news outlets like this showing articles, why are far-right groups attacking the poor immigrants and Muslims? Well, I don't know. They're just walking around peacefully smashing windows of cars, attacking citizens, saying that they're there for the community while they cover their faces. Yeah, there's no reason to be concerned. Right? Police arrest hundreds as chaos fueled by hate and misinformation grips the United Kingdom in the aftermath of tragic pointy object attack. As riots continue to rage through the United Kingdom, hotels housing asylum seekers have been torched by far-right agitators. I love how they put far-right in there. More than, of course, it's Al Jazeera. It's what we should expect. The Holiday Inn Express Hotel in Tamworth, Northern England, was set alight. Rioters also gathered near the Holiday Inn Express Hotel and that used to house asylum seekers in Rotherham, or Rotterdam, I guess, depending on how you pronounce it. Both incidents took place on Sunday. Protests led by far-right groups have escalated into clashes with police in multiple towns as a wave of unrest fueled by xenophobia and misinformation surrounding the tragic unaliving of 3 young girls in a incident that sweeps across the country. About 400 people have been arrested. None of them are the guys who are covering their faces. None of them are the guys who are actually demolishing city landmarks or people's property, or physically assaulting people, but only the people who torched a hotel because they're fed up. They've had enough. Does this sound familiar in Canada yet? I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, either directly or those whipping up the disorder online, said Prime Minister Keir Starmer on a televised address on Sunday. He has cast the riots as organized illegal thuggery by a minority of Britons, like a small fringe minority. Does this all sound familiar again to you guys? In the grips of the 6th day of violence, Downing Street held a cabinet office room emergency meeting. Here's what you should know. What led to this moment? Last week, during a Taylor Swift-themed dance and yoga workshop at a community center in Southport, England, 3 young girls were unalived by a 17-year-old suspect. He was born in Cardiff, the Welsh capital, reportedly to Christian Rwandan parents. False information on social media claimed the suspect was a Muslim immigrant. Those rioting are vocal about their hatred of immigrants. But there's also a sense of underlying xenophobia against minority communities in the UK, especially Muslims, said the analysts. A professor at the University of Reading told Al Jazeera that the riots were a result of the former conservative government's complicity with such racist far-right groups. Again, sound familiar? So they don't blame the fact that these people are unhinged, that they're just running into the streets in mass numbers, intimidating locals. It's all right-wing extremists. It's all small fringe minorities. Instead of hiding their faces, they have now been coming out. We cannot blame a Labour Party that has only been in government for the past 4 weeks, she said. Meanwhile, agitators like Tommy Robinson are stoking tensions. Now, if you know Tommy Robinson, of course, he was arrested at a protest about a week ago in England. Born Stephen Christopher Yaxley Lennon, the far-right activist and co-founder of the English Defence League, has been busy posting inflammatory video rants to his 800,000 followers on X, decrying Muslims, migrants, the political establishment, and police. He's posing from afar, reportedly in Cyprus. A High Court judge issued an arrest warrant for Robinson after he failed to appear at the Royal Courts of Justice on Monday for a hearing in contempt of libel in court case that he lost to a Syrian refugee. Influencer Andrew Tate, who has suggested the Southport suspect arrived in the UK on a boat, and MP Nigel Farage, more on him later, also accused of stirring division. So again, sorry, I was under the impression Robinson had been arrested. Apparently he's fled. Where are the riots? In addition to Southport, Rotterdam and Tamworth, clashes have been reported in Manchester, Liverpool, Belfast, and in Northern Ireland, as well as other cities. Posts are swirling on social media describing other planned far-right events. I mean, and then it says that they could not independently verify these claims. Of course not, because it's hogwash. It's them stirring the pot. But you don't see the government calling them out. You don't say that it's online thuggery or whatever you called it before. What you've seen on the streets of Hartlepool, London, and Southport is nothing compared to what could happen over the course of the next few weeks, Fringe said recently. He's also justified the riots. The far right are a reaction to fear, to discomfort, to unease that is out there shared by tens of millions of people, he said. I mean, they're using this to prop up their political benchmark. They're using a terrible situation to virtue signal and say, well, the people who live here, the people who have been here, their families have been here for generations. They're the evil ones. They're the extremists. The people coming here to seek a better life who are breaking your car windows, who are attacking people in the streets, who are throwing rocks through business windows, those people are just peaceful. They're just looking for a good solution. The problem with all of this is it's very telling on what's coming to Canada and what could come to Canada anytime. Again, if you look at the numbers in the streets during any of these Palestinian protests, look at Ottawa, look at Toronto, look at Calgary, you've got religious fanatics who are allowed to brandish weapons because it's part of their religion. They're allowed to possess firearms because it's part of their religion. What do you think is going to happen to Canadian citizens when these people have enough here? Yes, these people. And I'm not talking about skin color. I'm talking about refugee migrants who are coming here involving our country in a war and in politics that have nothing to do with our country. We have opened a Pandora's box with Justin Trudeau's open door policy on Canada. I fear for Canada's safety. I fear that this is on its way here next. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think this is coming to Canada? Do you think it's already here and it's just a melting pot waiting to explode, essentially? Give me your thoughts down below if it's your first time here. I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications. Join me live here on the channel each and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our weekly live streaming show. Except for this upcoming Friday, I'll be out of town. However, I will do the stream this Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel. I look forward to chatting with you guys each and every week and hearing what you have to say outside of these videos. And I look forward to essentially listening to what each one of you wants to say to me about what's happened, not only in this video, but all week long in politics. And I look forward to chatting with you there. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your week. I'll catch you on the next one.